when you go, you're gonna go to stand up and then like snap, and you're gonna help him up onto the stump, and then you're gonna like point out, and then you're gonna
which part?
And by you I mean
Women. WTF stands for Women's Training Facility.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So help.
So when you jump up onto the chair,
Yes.
like stop and like give her a look or something to get her to come help you up there, and then just be like, or something like that, whatever you feel.
So this play kind of was a process to come up with the idea for. I had a bunch of ideas. My co-director, Madison Palika, and we had a shared notes app, and like, I knew I wanted it to be a political piece, so any like thing I saw in the news or any ideas that popped in my head, I would like put it in a notes app. And then eventually we kind of developed the idea to do a sketch comedy show with all these different ideas rather than doing a smaller show with like one through line or anything like that. And then we decided to tie it in with the Fox. So that's kind of how it came to be.
Fire sex.
And then who is the next cult member?
I guess it would have to be you.
Oh, it's me. Yeah, it is me.
Assembling the cast really wasn't super difficult. I would have liked to have held auditions the way a traditional like show is run to get that experience. However, my schedule is just so busy that I kind of had to just pull people that I have known throughout. It's a small like department. I know basically everyone in their acting styles. So we picked you for the Fox because you kind of, I knew you could bring that like energy and like the voices and things like that to the show. And all the girls who are in it are just people that I've seen that maybe weren't showcased at UT that well and that I trust. So it really wasn't that difficult. Now aligning everyone's schedules, a little more challenging, but we made it work.
Damn.
Women are speaking now, and I think you've said more than enough. As I was saying, welcome to Women Training Foxes, and we've been watching you for quite a while, and unfortunately, you're a piece of shit.
The thought process for figuring out the blocking of the play, I would say, is probably one of the more difficult parts. You know, as you've seen, I kind of have some type of concept, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe move here, try this, try that, and we might run it for 6 out of the 8 rehearsals we have, and then I go, oh, it's actually not working, and we might have to change it. It's just blocking is really how can we make a laugh out of a situation and not the words. Like, yeah, the words are funny, but how can a movement impact what you're saying or add to it and keep the audience? Because if you're just sitting there saying your lines, no one's going to want to watch that.
They need our enlightenment. Who's with me?
Yeah! Woo!
Okay. Cool.
Do we want to run that one again, or move to
Yeah, but there was one like, I think the part where you get mad at her and you spray her in the face still feels really awkward to me.
I don't think he should do tap. I would just like
Spin her around.
It seems too polite to be like. I would just be like, spray.
Or, cause what are you guys doing? Where are you guys standing? You're just in the middle like this,
We're just
right?
standing in the middle, and I'm just kind of like looking.
And you're like
at
right
her.
here?
Yeah. I've been looking at her with like a, ooh, I know what's coming, but I feel like the wait before, it's like we're just kind of standing.
It's awkward.
not
It's really awkward. What if instead of you being behind her, you hear what she's saying and she's like, you don't owe a man anything. Even when you hear you don't owe a man anything, you're like, excuse you. Maybe you could come in between them and be listening. And then she could say, you wouldn't have to have sex with him. Like quick.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try that. Because the pause is awkward. And then I think
I had a lot of social concerns creating this. I felt as though not only can it toes the line on a lot of things, but some people don't really understand dark humor, and they might be like, oh, some of these jokes are pushing the line a little.
Carter. Oh, you don't want to work? Now you're homeless.
I'm crippled.
Cry me a wall.
Oh.
Are you crying me a wall?
I'm crying so hard.
You want to be fine, lazy. You want to be lazy? Fine. But stop living off of my tax dollars with your food stamps.
That's kind of, Madison Palika has been my co-director, and she's been like editing my scripts a little with me. So she kind of, anything I would write, I'd be like, is this too much? And I don't know how good of a judge she is on if it's too much or not, but she would kind of be like, well, maybe chill, or that's a little too crazy.
I don't know. When I was here yesterday,
If I could warn anyone about the hardships of creating a play, I would warn them about budget, and I would warn them about schedules, because those are the two main issues we've come with, especially with doing a show farther away. I've had to budget out a hotel for everyone to stay at. I've had to budget props, putting the show on alone, and it adds up quick. Like, we don't have we don't have very many props or anything, but it just adds and adds and adds. So you have to kind of be financially aware of how much you're spending and how accessible your play will be for other people to recreate at some point. The other problem is scheduling. A lot of times actors will say open availability to get a job, and then you roll up to the first rehearsal and they're like, ooh, I have 14 conflicts actually. And then you have to rewrite the schedule. I think I rewrote our rehearsal schedule about 8 times due to conflicts and put many hours into it. Yeah. Just patience.
That's incorrect.
If it was me, I'd be like, well, maybe if you weren't such a bitch, I'd work harder.
Correct again.
To the audience.
Wow.
And louder.
Fantastic job. I'm so proud. Okay, let's try another scenario.
Of course, I want people to laugh, but I think the main takeaway, and honestly the reason I wrote it, is to kind of shed a light on how dumb and how easily people are taking in the news. Like, I think in some of the previews I've written for the show and things like that, it's like, what is the dangers of accepting news at face value? I think taking these situations, which are real, they have been mentioned, and putting them in a situation where it's so big and the situation is so unbelievable makes it a little easier for people. Like, maybe there's gonna be a Republican in the crowd. Maybe there's someone who sleeps next to a picture of Donald Trump every night. Honk shoe. But like, maybe they'll see that and be like, oh, I see what he's saying and I see what's actually happening. And how can I take that to my real life and be more aware? And also, it's about taking a stance. How do you put someone in their place? Don't let people walk all over you. So that's kind of what I hope people walk away with.